Wyrd, scope, Thane, comitatus, and mead-Hall. These are the key themes when it comes to Anglo-Saxon literature. And in order to understand Anglo-Saxons and their works, we need to understand what do we mean by all these terminologies, because these can be asked and these are really important to understand. And one more thing to note, as that when it comes to Anglo-Saxon literature, it was written in old language. So these are the kind of terminologies that you can be asked, that what do they call a poet when it comes to old English literature. So that is why you need to understand all these terminologies, not only to answer such kind of questions, but along with that, to enjoy and to understand their works perfectly fine. Now let's start from the introduction. That the terms listed, Wyrd, scope, Thine, comitatus, and mead-Hall, are deeply significant in Anglo-Saxon literature and often feature prominently in the works of writers from this period, especially in the epic poem Beowulf, the most renowned Old English literary works. Now, from this introduction, we get to know that these are the five terminologies that are really important when it comes to their literature, when it comes to their works. All these terminologies are prominently discovered, are evident in their works. And one of the works, Beowulf, is the epic poem, and it is like one of the prominent works in which we can find all these kind of themes. Now, the first one is Wyrd. Wyrd basically is a synonymous word for fate. So, in Beowulf, Wyrd plays a key role in the hero's life and battles. Characters in the poem frequently reflect on fate and how it governs their lives and actions. Acha. So, from the term weird, as we know that it is a synonymous term for fate, and we get to know that this word was really important when it comes to the reflection of their characters, their lives, and their actions, and especially in the inevitability of death and the outcomes of battle. Wyrd shapes the heroic ethos where warriors accept their destiny even in the face of peril. So, this term was really important, and you need to know this is one of the most prominent themes of Anglo Saxon literature. The next one is scop. Scop is for bard or for poets. The scop is integral to preserving and conveying the oral tradition of Anglo Saxons, including the tales of heroes like Beowulf. So, scope. This term is again one of the prominent themes, and whenever you come across such kind of literature that is of Anglo-Saxon period, you would come across this scope, means poet or bard, and this is one of the integral parts just to preserve the oral tradition of Anglo-Saxon period or Anglo-Saxon literature. In Beowulf, scopes are portrayed as vital to maintaining the collective memory of the community, recounting stories that honor warriors, kings, and ancestors, keeping their deeds alive for future generation. Now, like in the past, in the old English literature, in Anglo-Saxon literature, these warriors, kings, ancestors, they used to sit together and they used to tell stories about the wars, about the kings, about their achievements, about their habits, about their good deeds, etc. and etc. So as not only to pass on the information to the next generation, but along with that, so as to keep all of them motivated. And the next thing is Thine. Thine basically is a synonymous term for warrior. Let's find out how this word warrior or this theme was really prominent in Beowulf. Beowulf himself is a Thine to King Hrothgar, and later becomes a lord in his own right. Now, first, Beowulf was a warrior to the king, as mentioned here, and right after that, he became one of the kings. The relationship between Thine and their lords is a core theme, and loyalty to one's king, as seen in Beowulf's dedication both Hrothgar and a letter to his own people, exemplifies this. The idea of service and reward is central to the narrative of Beowulf. Now, warriors are really important when it comes to the winning of a battle or of a war. And for a warrior, what is the most important thing? The most important thing is that of his loyalty and dedication, not only towards the king but also towards the people, towards the service of the people. So this theme was again quite prominent when it comes to Anglo-Saxon literature. I have given you the example of Beowulf, but we can find such kind of themes in other works too. The next thing is comitatus. Comitatus is synonymous for loyalty. Now, the comitatus bond is fundamental to the social structure in Beowulf. The hero's relationship with his king, as well as the bond among warriors, highlights the importance of mutual loyalty. Now, mutual loyalty is really important. Not only this loyalty to the king and the people, but along with that, those who are fighting together, the loyalty is really important to each others as well, because in wars you'll come across such kind of situations in which you'll have to work in coordination, and for that coordination loyalty is really important. Now this concept also manifests in Beowulf's final battle, where his men are expected to stand by him, though most failed to do so, leaving only Wiglaf and to uphold the comitatus ideal. Now, loyalty is very important in Anglo-Saxon literature. So I hope it would have been quite clear to you now. The next one is mead-Hall. Mead-Hall is like a community hub. In Beowulf, the mead-Hall Harrod serves as a symbol of communal unity, safety, and joy. Now, when if you look around and analyze all the societies, definitely there will be a community hub in which people come together so as to get to know each other and so as to show this unity. Now, the same goes for us as Muslims. We have our mosques in which we come together and shows this unity, safety, joy, and we do perform some of the prayers, etc. and etc. It's where warriors gather to feast, share stories, and receive gifts from their lords. But the purpose of mead-Hall for Anglo-Saxons was different. They used to gather for feasts, to talk about stories. If you remember, we did talk about the bards, the poets, in which they used to keep alive this storytelling, this oral tradition of them, and receive gifts from their lords. The disruption of this harmony by Grendel, a monstrous outsider, symbolizes chaos, and the breakdown of social order, a theme that runs throughout the epic. Now, this mead-Hall is really important when it comes to Anglo-Saxon literature, because they used to come together not only to show unity, safety, and joy, but along with that, they used to do feasts, share stories, and receive gifts from their lords. So I hope it would have been quite clear to all of you that what are the prominent themes when it comes to Anglo-Saxon literature, and what do we mean by such kind of terminologies. You can be asked all of them in your exams, one paper exam or your full exam. It would have been helpful to you in your studies too. So that's all from my side. We'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned. Allah Hafiz.